So, I'm sharing this with you guys today because this has been kind of an ongoing issue and thought process that I didn't really understand, like, what it was like. I didn't really understand, like, what the issue actually was. So I had to, like, really dive and, like, figure out, like, okay, what is leading me to, like, think this way? Like, what is the core of, like, my problem, right? And what I've realized is that, like, I want to do big, amazing, great things. Wow, never heard a student say that before. I know, crazy. But I feel that ambition and our drive to do like these great things on earth can honestly become faded in with like a worldly desire and like these earthly wants and needs that we feel more important and would come over Christ in a moment, right? So it's like, why is my ambition, why does it kind of feel like, although it's making me feel and want more in life, it's kind of driving me away towards God? Have any of you guys ever felt that way? Maybe, maybe not. It's still interesting nonetheless if you guys want to listen. But that's kind of how I've been feeling or have felt in the past, right? It's like, I want better for myself. I want, you know, a more fulfilling life. I want, like, things that are, like, going to make me a better person. And I want to grow, you know? But it's like, a lot of the time, like, I'll get ahead of myself and just consider these things without even considering God. And that's kind of like why I did like my own like mini Bible study, because it's like, okay, well, what does God even have to say about this? Where can I even find this? Because a lot of the time I feel like when we have very specific issues, like, it's kind of not there at our feet. Like, we aren't just like granted the answer. We kind of have to like dig for it, you know, which is okay. It's kind of like the point of Bible study and stuff. But today I just want to share with you guys what I found about ambition in Christ. Bear with me. It's kind of hard for me. Like, I'm relatively still new at this. Like, it's been like maybe 4 months tops of me like even like introduced to the concept of Bible study. So like, I'm not like that good in terms of like diving into knowledge and like providing that. But I did find like a few valuable things that I would like to share and that kind of helped me today, that I haven't really considered before. So learning something new and getting closer to God, hopefully that's always the goal. But, oop, excuse my language. Drop my phone. Okay. Let's see. Come on. You got this. Why is it not? Okay, cool. That should work. I have to adjust myself a little bit. Okay, ambition in Christ. Wrote in my notebook. Thank you, Jonna. Okay. So the basics. Ambition, right? What does this mean? Like, what are you even talking about? What does ambition mean, right? So people on earth who are non-believers, probably are very caught up in the wrong things, will tell you that ambition, there's only one definition, okay? I'm here to tell you that there's actually two definitions for ambition, and this can be defined through a worldly sense or a godly sense. So in a worldly sense, it means, oh my goodness, this freaking, I'm just gonna sit down and set you guys up like this, okay, so it doesn't fall anymore. So, in a worldly sense, the definition for ambition can be defined as an intense drive for success or power. Okay, yeah, I took 6th grade, and I know the definition of this word. Thank you for sharing. Okay, you're welcome. So, let me get into now the godly and biblical definition of ambition, right? So in I don't know how to say this, I'm sorry, 4 verse 11, Philippians 1:17, and Ephesians 5 verse 8 through 10, it says to make it our own ambition to lead a quiet life, to mind your own business, and to work with your hands. And clearly this is written at different times, so the work with your hands part can be, you know, perceived in a different way. But this led me to like ask myself, so what does the world teach us, and then what does the Bible teach us? Because clearly ambition is in the Bible, but, you know, what are we taught, and like what is really the goal of this trait? So the world does teach us ambition. Like, you know, the world teaches us many things, except this drive for ambition is really selfish, and it's usually for the intent for worldly gains. What do I mean by this? Give you guys a second to think. What are worldly gains? I got some. I'll share. Bigger house. Does that sound familiar? Fancier car. Does that sound familiar? Larger paycheck. I know that sounds familiar. Especially over our neighbors. So it's like, oh, I have more than him. My value in terms of my materials, my possessions make me a better person because I have more than this one, or because I own more, right? I am more. That's my value. My value are based off what I have and what I've worked for, right? And that isn't to decredit these ambitious people, but it's like the Bible teaches us the opposite, right? So in Philippians 2:3, let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of the mind, let each esteem others better than himself. And in 2 Corinthians 5:9, Paul tells us, therefore we have as our own ambition, whether at home or absent, to be pleasing to him. So basically what these verses can tell us is that the goal of our ambition shouldn't be to please the world, but to please Christ, and to do these things and have this ambition for God, right? It's like, wait a second. God doesn't want us to be ambitious. God doesn't want me to have a nice house, or to give a good life to my children, or to have to walk everywhere because I shouldn't get a car because that's ambitious in a worldly sense, right? You know, God, money drives the world. Wake up, it's the 21st century. Like, do not want me to be living and thriving in my best life, right? No. Whoa, don't get ahead of yourself, right? Because being ambitious in and of itself, it's not wrong. It's what we esteem honor that can be a problem. So the Bible does teach us to be ambitious. Like, it has that in the book. Like, it teaches to be ambitious people, right? Yet the objective is the accepted Christ of the world. So in Matthew 20, verse 26, 28, and 23, 11, verse 11 to 12, he teaches us to become a servant. So are you up at? Right? And if you're still, no, I don't know, like, I'm not getting it. I'm not sure, like, what's his, like, telling me. Okay, maybe not. I'll tell my own personal experience, right? Maybe some light in this particular issue. So, you know, we're all in this year, I'm studying to be something, one thing is of having a career, right? And my particular career, studying biology on the pre-med track, hopefully one day doctor. That's what I want to do. And, you know, transferring to I just expected this goal, right? Like, just realized that this has to do with God and not things, right? Before coming to Lehigh, I was a business student, and I was, like, money-driven, bro. Money-driven, like, paper chaser, like, I'm not investment banker type vibe, finance bro in the city. And, like, I started to realize, like, what I was valuing and I wanted was just so, it was such, like, BS. Like, that's not the point, job. Like, income is a fraction of, like, fulfillment of life, right? Like, yeah, you need bills, yeah, like, you need income, like, you need a good salary, but it's like everyone wants to live a calm life, but it's like below that, a proportionate extent, where you're getting greedy and you start, like, valuing this. God was not in my head during this time. I was denying him. I was scared to, like, take any control whatsoever, and I didn't like that, but, and I was, like, even so when I decided, like, I want to, like, follow this stuff and, like, just change everything completely, like, I was kind of in a space, right? Because I, like, think about God a little more, but, like, it still wasn't the same, right? And then, like, for God, like, sorry, well, swear to, like, December, like, when I got my acceptance and stuff, like, something that changed a bit, right? I was, like, you know, especially career, God bless all of you. Thank the Lord for this, because it really permanently, like, engraved in my head that I do not want to do the money, like, so understanding that, like, you know, living a calm life is, like, valuable. Yeah, like I would like to have a lot of money, but it's like that would be the goal and motive and incentive to everything, or anything really, you know. Like, if that comes with, like, my job, like, okay, like, it just happens that, like, when I realized that serving God tied so closely into I wanted to do a career, and I could really make that's when I really, like, gaining passion. Like, that ball really started rolling. So I'm like it's possible. Like, you can really, like, work hard and be driven and, like day in and day, like, study and, like, do things for God. Like, you know what I mean? It's usually when you're doing all this, like, you're getting really like you sidetracked by start so long, like start to faith because you're not getting things that you feel you should, you're not getting grades you deserve, whatnot. Like it actually leads you away. But like I've never felt as close with God now in terms of like my career, my career choice, like my studies and stuff, because I realized that like at the end of this, and after succeeding, like I'm doing all the God, like God gave me this like strength, like I'm not saying, oh, like we'll take care of making someone I meet, talking about like having these and like actions to myself, like having things like discipline or like sacrificing like time for like time with God, right? Or like studying with time, like this is the journey, like having hair and understanding the only reason why you're able to do this through God and like so much and he's so much passionate about what you're doing, anything, not just school and everything. And that's what I realized, right? Because now at the end of all, like my purpose for why becoming a doctor, my reason it's changed. It has done over 80 because I realized at the end of it, I will be give back and serve others, helping people, helping brothers, sisters, and do this through God because I feel and I'm at peace with the fact that this is what He would want, right? That's my life. But then like about me and thinking, that's me to think like, okay, well, what people that like have these jobs that like they aren't feeling God through like job. Honestly, I have a straightforward answer, but I do have something input with that. And what that is that God can be through anything you do. Like, it's because like what if I decide back in when I was in my school to like pursue business and maybe just become an accountant, for example, right? Like not just now, I'm just saying to become an accountant, like that was a choice. On here, by the way, like literally. Like, let's say I just do that and I decided to do my career path and whatever. Like I realized I was like God can be through anything, like create a community at your work, like have joy, passion, like you speak about your topic of work, like create a day every day that serving Him for your work, and like I feel it's very shallow to just be like, oh, I'm working with numbers, how can I possibly serve God? Like I'm telling you ways, like where like you take time like every day to like meditate or whatever to like serve God, like even though as you're typing it's not fraud, like using like this money, your income, like towards like your life, and like towards like your house and towards your kids, like just make sure no matter like every dollar you spend and like every dollar you earn and like every hour that you're at work, even though accounting isn't a godly like career, like doesn't mean that like God can't be with you in your work. I was slowing that out. I don't know if that made too much sense. It did though, because I feel like it's a point because at the end of the day, like it's your choice. Like you choose to work toward and fix it with God. Let's say now I don't have a job, like I'm just a student, I'm seeing like I could think I'm close to God and then I could be an accountant 30 years later and be even closer to God, you know what I mean? It doesn't really necessarily mean, like, and there's also ways like going on mission trips, like your money and like buying into your car to like travel and like people like in Christ or like donate to church, like you know they always use me as well. It's like money, like you know, it's like what to do with it, and I feel like that's really what he needs. It's not about being ambitious and just doing the minimum. Like I don't even have to work hard because like doesn't even want anyway. Like not. I feel like that's not the point, and I feel that's a lot of the time what I end up confused. It's so hard. What I confused with, right? Because it's like, okay, well, low key calling me ambitious was like with a lot of money tied to like that, and like I'll just like make those things big, a material person, and I'll like take from God. Oh, you can be ambitious. Like, you can study every day, and you can like work day, blah blah blah, and like still have at the forefront, you know, start at the center. Not getting caught up in this, not getting in the money, getting caught up in sins, and like, losing sin, right? There's so many ways, so many things you do every day, whether it's just reading the Bible, but just praying, you know, to closer to God, bring the people closer to God, still give to this world, and like be a servant to Him, you know. So, correct me wrong on these. This was kind of the only like, thing. I didn't think other perspectives flowing. I never had any opinions flowing. And I don't like that because, like that I don't trust myself and my knowledge. It's so beneficial hearing what I have to say. So, I'd appreciate if maybe you guys can give me some feedback. Or if you don't agree with anything said, like, please, like, feel free to come and explain. You know what I mean? Like, I'm down for that. I'm going to learn more. Like, issue I feel like being a college student can, like, up or just being young can bring on. I mean, so think that. I just wanted to just because like the quote I added in there, and sometimes like, you know, it's like a large like group, we don't have time to add individual opinions, or sometimes reading doesn't really relate kinds of things, but you know, I just had to tell myself, maybe it helped you, maybe it didn't, maybe it dark some of yours, maybe it got this because elaborating bullshit, you guys don't agree. Whatever the case is, feedback would be great, because I'm a smart learner, and know if you agree with me too, because I will just see if my perspectives agree with my perspective.